All right, here we go again. The last Swika crit, the last Tuesday night crit here in Boise of the year. The 8th of 8 races, the last race for a while. Taking a little bit of a break, not on purpose, just because race season is kind of ending. So at this point in time, I'm really needing upgrade points to get my Cat 1 upgrade. I think I needed almost 20. No, wait. Yeah, almost 20 still at the beginning of this race. So top 3 is kind of the goal. Winning would have been great. Again, I'm working, as usual with Paul, who's right in front of me here. He's trying to help me get those points. We got some real hitters. Carson, who's a pro mountain biker, went off the front from the start, as you guys saw there. And then Alan, right in front of Paul, professional criterium road racer, very strong as well, obviously. So lap 2, the first attack goes. You guys know at this point how these races go. It's just attack after attack. People don't really work together. There's not a huge amount of team tactics. In this specific race, there was no teams at all. Kind of everyone was just by themselves. So these first attacks are just kind of to establish the break, because really every week a break won this race. And for the first 7 weeks that we did it. Spencer there at the front, he just got his Cat 3 upgrade, so this was his first race at this level. And then as I'm taking my pole, Alan puts in a really good attack trying to get rid of me very close to the beginning of the race, which sucks, but that's life. I let a couple of guys go through, and then there was a gap, so I had to make sure that I closed it, because otherwise those 3 guys would have gotten away, and that would have been the break of the day. Then here DJ, something happens to him, not sure, but I put in a dig and really go deep to try to close the gap to those 2 guys, because again, Carson's off the front, who is very strong. Then Alan here with, I forget who's on his wheel, but they could definitely stay away. Paul hops on my wheel, and at this point, oh, that's Ian. So Ian, Paul, and I usually work together, which obviously would have been great if we made this stick, but you guys see here, Ian comes around to take his pole. I hop onto Alan's wheel, because obviously I just made that huge effort to bridge up to them. I'm not gonna pull right away. So a great group of 4 guys here, strong group, but yeah, how efficient can we be when the week before it was 3 of us versus Alan? He's probably not gonna want this break to get to the end. He does put a solid pull in, but he's not putting in enough power to where the group doesn't catch us. And as you guys can see in the rear camera, they are about to catch us. I go and pull, but my pull in to contribute and try to make this stick. We're only 5 minutes into a 50 minute crit, so there's still plenty to go. And there I kind of try to show you guys, I don't think you really see Carson. He's nearly half a lap ahead of us. Only 5 minutes into the race, and he's already gotten that much of a lead on us, because back here it's attack, chase, and even though we get up to some high speeds, then it kind of lulls down, and it all comes together. So then there, I don't know if that's when I hit a cone. I did hit one of those cones at some point, looking back. Paul and Alan, arguably the 2 strongest crit racers in this group, go. And then I start yelling out, making sure that people don't let them go, because that's the story of these races, is that if we don't work together, we're not going to catch them. So lap 8, there's still just me complaining, but there's still Carson off the front, and then Paul and Alan. So, and then this bigger group, which isn't huge, but bigger group, attacking each other instead of chasing efficiently. But anyways, I get frustrated, and I see Kelsey going hop on his wheel to follow whoever put on that attack to bridge up to Alan and Paul up there. So at this point, we're about to all kind of come together, because we're just all doing these ridiculous pulls to just, I don't know for what, honestly. Anyways, a couple laps later, and we're all together again. 10 minutes into the race, 40 minutes to go still. we've been doing some serious power, some serious efforts, and now we all kind of just start looking at each other. Alan is obviously the rider with the biggest pedigree, if you will, in this race, so everyone kind of starts looking at him, and then DJ comes to the front, puts in a really solid dig. I hop onto his wheel and no one else comes, which was quite surprising, and then we catch up to Yoder there, who was off the front. But as I do that and I'm putting my pull in, I see that everyone catches back on. Lap 23, almost halfway into the race, and Carson was behind us, and I was at the front of the group, meaning that we caught him. Technically, this is what he had to say about it. I assume Alan was asking him.
As soon as I was like 6 seconds away, my gut was like, hey, jeez.
So yeah, gut problems. He let up. He was very close to us. We could see him coming behind us. We were kind of just waiting for him to join, and then he just stopped pedaling. Lap 40.
Try as hard as you can to pull that guy in. Then you can pull out.
10 minutes to go, and it's serious business now. There's no breakaway. We're all together. Alan puts in a massive dig. Fortunately, I was right on his wheel, so I make sure to stay on his wheel, because if I hadn't, he would have gone just by himself. So I go on his wheel, and he keeps going really hard. You see I'm doing 300 to 400 watts on his wheel on the straights. He keeps doing this for a couple laps, over 2 laps, just making sure that this sticks. And my turn comes. I go and try to be, useful, helpful to make this stick. There was a guy off the front that we are bridging to, but at the same time just kind of doing our own move. So there's only 8 laps or 8 minutes left in this race at this point, and we got a solid thing going here. Again, Alan's attack was insane. I was just happy to be on his wheel. He was going so hard that I thought I was going to get dropped just from being on his wheel. We catch up to this guy, and
Hop on.
yeah, I tell him to hop on, because obviously the more help the better. And guess what happens? Paul and Carson bridge. So again, the two professionals, the other 2 professional cyclists, don't want to miss out on the move, and Paul's very excited about it. So at this point, there's 4 of us. The 5th guy behind me is getting dropped. Here, Alan and I kind of battle to see who closes that gap to be the 3rd in line, and he basically puts in a dig to make sure that I have to make an effort as well to join those guys. So 4 men breakaway. You guys can see in the rear view camera, there's really no one there. We just did a little bit of an effort, so Alan tells Paul to get onto Carson's wheel as he gets off the front. There's only 5 laps to go at this point, and we're just working together to make sure that this sticks. We got a nice gap, but they're coming. So a couple laps, or just a lap later, I took my pull, and then as I'm rolling back, Alan opens this little gap and then closes it really fast as I'm about to hop onto his wheel, which is, I didn't understand what was going at the time, but a couple laps later I realized that he was obviously doing that on purpose. It made me really tired, so it was working. And then from then on, fortunately I wasn't too tired to where I couldn't make a decision and figure out what to do. But basically I decided that I wouldn't let that happen again. So I told Paul what was going on. I asked him to come around. He put in a really big effort to do so. At this point, we're going really hard for like 5 minutes straight, and ends up being 10 minutes. I start playing my own games, and I need the points, so I'm just going to be on Alan's wheel and not let him gap me or just do any kind of move, if you will, on me, whatever that means. So yeah, Paul's trying to help me out. We're about to enter the last lap here, and Alan's at the front just going really hard. So by Alan being at the front going that hard, I didn't assume this at the point, but now looking back, I assume that he's working for Carson, who's right behind him, and it would be Alan and Carson versus Paul and me. We've been going really hard for nearly 10 minutes now, so I'm really tired and honestly just happy to be here. I know that Paul will pull aside for me, so I'll get 3rd. to get some nice points. So there it is. I asked Paul to slide in as we get into the last corner, because we need to be as far forward as possible in this specific course. So Alan goes wide for Carson to get the corner in first, which is really the way to win this race, taking that last corner in first. And I just didn't have enough power to even stick to Carson's wheel, much less
Come on, Andre!
come around. And you guys see here, that was that. Got second, which was still great. We're again taking a break now.
Great job.
And hopefully I'll see you guys at Gateway Cup.